Welcome to the Trusty Tools card class. And I was doing this card class as the bingo card class. And for those that participated in bingo, they paid a certain dollar amount. They paid $40, and that covered their game for bingo and the product that they're getting in with their kit. And they are getting the DSP that was the celebration, and they're getting the card kit, and they're also getting adhesive backed textured dots that are used on the cards. And then I'm also offering it as a free with purchase. So if you spend $40 in my online store, and the place to, it's right down here at the bottom under my the circle picture here. If you place a $40 purchase in my online store, you get the card kit for free. But what you get in your card kit is the DSP cut that is for each card, and then you get all the pieces for the cards and any things like that. And then you will get a portion of the tools and different things that are in the DSP to use on all your cards. The ones that did the bingo, I'm not cutting the DSP. They will cut their own DSP for that, but I did cut all the card stock. So I will get started with that. So we're using the Trusty Tools, and it's a stamp set. And you can use all the stamps, but I'm using the DSP for tonight's class. But if you don't have the DSP, or if you run out of the DSP, you can always use the stamps that are in the set. And so with the hammer, this is the outline of the hammer, and then this is the collar that you'd fill in the handle of the hammer. And then this is your wrench, and that's the collar that you would use. And then your paintbrush, and that's the handle color that you'd use. And then this little bit down here, and it's right here on this clear thing here. I'm trying not to get the glare. Right there, that is the paint that goes up on the paintbrush. You can either stamp it where it's a clean paintbrush, or you can stamp it where you just, so it looks like you just painted something. And then with the measuring tape, there's the fill in right here to fill that in. And then we've got these little bolts and different things in our pencil, and then you can make the pencil whatever color that you want here. And then we have our couple sentiments here. And so I have not used those types of items in my stamp set yet, because I've got the DSP and I've been having fun with that. The dies that it comes with, I do believe 20 dies, and they have the option to add the dies on with their class. And so, but a lot of them I think they already had their bundle, so, and that was fine. But we have like 20 pieces in here, and we've got the pegboard, we have a pencil, we have that wrench, the paintbrush. Now there are two different paintbrushes in the DSP. So we have two sheets in this that has tools on it. So there's this one, and then there's another one back here. Let's see if I can grab that. So we have this paintbrush that is short and a little fatter, and then we have this one that's long and skinny. The dies will cut out this paintbrush, and then we have one that cuts out not the claw hammer, but the ball peen hammer. We have a wrench that you can use it to cut out this one. It just leaves that part open. It cuts that into a double-ended open one. but in this piece right here, we have that. So the dies do coordinate with the paper. And like I said, this was paper that you got during celebration. And so I had saved it to do a class for the Trusty Tools so that I could then offer this as a special. So there's that. All right, so I'm going to close these up. I've got my stamps already mounted, the ones that I'm going to use. But I'm going to set that right there. All right, so for this first card, this is an interactive card. So we're going to get it and do it first. All right. So this is a piece of Poppy Parade. And it is 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And I've got it scored at 5 1/2. So I'm going to just fold that. All right. And then I have a piece of basic white. And this is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That's for the inside. And then I have a piece of DSP that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm using the one with the screwdrivers. It has this other side to it also, but I'm using that one. And then we have this piece here that is 3 by 4, 3 inches by 4 inches, and then I've scored it at 1, 2, and 3 inches. So it's scored at every inch. And then got this other little piece that I didn't find in the envelope. And it is, I better measure this one because I can't remember off the top of my head on this one. It is 3/4 inch by 2 1/4 inch. And then I scored it at 1 inch. So one end is longer than the other end. So I'm going to fold that like that. All right. So we're going to take this piece and we're going to burnish on all those score lines. This is an interactive card. All right, so I'm going to fold that. I went both ways on all those score lines, and then I'm going to fold that in half and set it over there for now. And then this piece, I'm going to put my DSP right on the front. And then I'm going to bring my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in. I'm only putting glue on these edges for right now. I'm not putting it in the center. Just going to center this onto the front. Like that. And I'll set this over here. I also have a deckled circle that I'm going to use. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'll do my thick 1 plate. I'm going to try it with just my number 2 plate and then a second number 2 plate. So I'm going to put my cardstock in like this. I'm going to put the part that is just the cardstock without the DSP. I'm going to put it in first. And then I'm going to get it all in camera here. And then I have a circle here. And so I'm going to line this circle up. Here, I'll take it out first. I'm going to line this up here towards the top. About like that. So it's kind of equal at the side, the top. So it's just a little bit bigger at the top than it is on these sides. But I'm trying to center it the best I can. Then I'm going to slide it in. Put my next plate on top. And then run it through. and that is not thick enough. So I have to put that extra little piece, the number 2 shim. So I guess the plates are number 3s. So a 1, a 2. Mine has seen some, it's seen some die cutting. So put that right there. Line it up the best that I can. Put my next plate on. Start cranking that through there. I'm going to go forward. And then I'm going to come back because we're cutting through 2 pieces. There we go. I'm going to pop that out. So we put the DSP on and centered it on there, and then we put our circle on there and cut that out. And then now I have these 2 pieces here. And I just barely went on to where that circle was. So this I'm setting off because I don't need it right now. I just need this piece. So don't throw that out. I wouldn't throw this one away either because you can use it on another project. All right, so we have that, and we're going to bring in our basic white. That is 4 by 5 1/4. We're adding glue to the outside of that, and we're going to line that up on this inside. All right. So now then we're going to take this piece and we're going to add glue to this one section. So this is the opening right here. And so this is the opening. This is where it's folded at. And so this last section here, we're going to put glue all over that section. So that whole section there, and then we're going to flip it over and keep it folded. And then we're going to come just this side of that score line and center it into, so you can still see the score line. So I put it just on this side of that score line. And I'm going to press it down. And see it's just glued down that last section. So 1, 2, 3 sections are not glued down. We're going to lay that down. And we're going to add glue right here. So in between these 2 spots, we're going to put it on this front flap, but not too high. We just want to put it close to that score line. And then just this edge. So right here, just not too far up. So just a little bit of glue and then a little bit on this flap. And then we're going to close it down this way. So you can see that score line through there. And then when you open it up, it's like that. Okay. Now this little section here, you had one piece that's 1 inch and then another piece that I think it was 1 1/4. Yeah. So the part that's 1 1/4, you want to fold it so that 1 1/4 is on bottom and this 1 inch is on top. So you're going to add glue to this 1 1/4 back on the back of this. So like that. Then we're going to slide that up just underneath that because it's not adhered all the way down. We're going to just slide it up underneath there. And I'm kind of lining it up here. This here score line and this score line. So I'm making certain that it adheres, and then I'm going to fold, because we're going to fold down on that back piece. So that little 1/4 inch, we're going to make certain that it stays underneath that flap. So I creased it with that fold of there. So like that. So this part is still sticking up. And you can add, I think I'm going to do a glue dot, because if I try to do the liquid glue, I'll make a mess. So I'm going to get a glue dot. And this little bit here, I'm going to lift it up and just slide that glue dot underneath there to hold that down. There we go. So it opens up like that. And then you have this piece that's standing up. Okay? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to place it in here so that it goes right back into the circle. Then I'm going to lift this back and just add glue to that little flap. And only the flap. And you don't want to get too close to the edge, because you don't want to end up gluing it down to the piece underneath. And then you hold that. So I hope I haven't lost you on that. And that way, when you open, your circle stays on the inside of your card, like that. All right, so opens, closes, open, closes. And I have this little bit of fibers on the inside there. So that's the mechanism for your card. All right, so I'm going to bring in this little piece here. And this is the deckled circle, and it is, let me see. From the center, it's 1, 2, 3. It's the 5th one from the center. If you're coming from the outside, it's the 10th one in. So that deckled circle is what I used to cut that out. All right. And these items will be, if it's the circle like this, I will cut it for both kits. If it's in the what could have been purchased, I will not do the die cutting on those. I'm not die cutting like the little bits and pieces out or anything, your tools that you can do. Like you can even fussy cut those. So I'm going to take this, and I think I'm going to do basic black. And I'm using the Memento Black. I'm going to grab the thank you. Ink this up well. Then come up here to the top and stamp. I'm going to put glue on the back of this. And then add that right here to the front. And you could add DSP to the inside here if you wanted to, like along the bottom. You could stamp on this if you wanted to. You could add some of the tools in here if you want to. And then I have this box where I sat and I've done a lot of the fussy cutting and die cutting of like different tools and different things. And even the ones that are partial ones, they work fine for this. I'm just trying to see what I got in here. And then once you find a few of the things that you want and all that, then you start layering. Now, just FYI, you can't glue onto this and have it overlap, and then because you won't be able to make it work. But you can glue onto this and have it overlap, but not glued here. So like if I want, I can do that. I'm going to put that little pencil down there. Just use a little bit of glue. And this is one of those partial pieces. I'm going to have it come just to the edge of the circle. I'm not going past it. Then I'm going to bring this paintbrush in. And I'm going to overlap this way. I think I'm going to grab some dimensionals for this. I want to be careful when I put it down that I don't go past the circle, but that I cover up that end. So like that. And then, let's see. And for something else. So I'm going to glue trying to find a different color so it's not all just red. Here we go. We'll do that. So I'm going to glue these handles down on the cardstock here, and then I'll show you how it works. So I'm only putting glue on the ends of the handles here. Okay. I want to hold that, make certain it stays. Okay, and then when you open it up, you've got two things here, and when you close it, there's three things. And I think I'm going to take and add this in here at the bottom on the inside here. And then you can open it up and you can sign. And if there's not enough room here to sign, then you can add it to the back. I got this idea from Friends Martin. That's it. She does with the airplanes and different things. And so I thought it was so cute. So I was thinking, might as well try it with the tool. So there we go. That's our first card. And this is the other one that I made. I did a little bit more simple. I did a tape measure and a hammer. And I did not put anything else in here. But I figure I could add to it anything that I wanted to. That's our card number 1. All right, so our second card. Oh, I did forget something though. So with this one, I do have these little embellishments that are awesome. And so, put one up there. Put one right down here. And one out there. And so they're cute little brassy looking textured gems there. All right, so our next card keep those handy because we're going to need them. This right over there. So this is a gray granite, and I believe it's 7.5 inches. So here's 6. Yep, 7.5 inches by the 5.5 inches, and then it was scored at 3.25. Okay. I'm going to fold that over and burnish. All right, so here is our basic white. It's 4 inches by 5.25, and I'm going to add that to the inside. You can do stamping on this if you want. But I would do the stamping after we put our next little piece on. Okay, so then I'm going to take this ruler piece, and this is a piece of DSP that was cut 1 inch by, I think, 5.25, or yep, 5.25, 1 inch by 5.25. So I'm going to put that over here along that white edge, top to bottom. And that just barely shows. And so then you can do any stamping and things on the inside here. And my next piece, oh, sorry, I think it's 3 inches by 4 inches. And you can use any DSP. It doesn't have to be the same one that I'm using. So I'm centering on this piece of gray granite. And then we have this piece, and it is 1 1/8 by 3 inches. These are good for Father's Day. They'll be good for like birthdays. You can just change whatever sentiment you want for them. All right, so I have a circle here, and it's one of our stylish stitch shapes, and it's one of the circles. And I believe it's the largest circle. And it is. It's our largest stylish stitch shape. Okay. And with this, I'm going to bring in our crushed curry. It could be any color. If you want to use Lost Lagoon, crushed curry, gray granite. And then I'm going to bring in the You're the Most Awesome. Ink that up. Come up here to the top and stamp, and I'm going to hold it for a moment and lift. All right. So now then I want to grab these dimensionals, and you could put You're the Most Awesome, you could put Dad on the inside or different things. Now then, I'm going to see about where I want to place this. And then I'm going to put my dimensionals on the card itself because I don't want it to overhang and close my card shut. So I'm going to put 4 where I know that they'll be behind that circle. And that's a large circle anyway. And I'm going to come in with it. Try to line that up. And place it. So there's that. And I'll bring in my little tools again. So you just want to play with the placement of them. Crisscross them, lay them straight, just however you want to do that. I think I'll do these couple tools. So I'm using up my end pieces, and I can make it a little shorter if I want to. I'll bring my glue in. And I just glue that there. And I want to bring this in, and I'm going to kind of angle it like that. But I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. I'm using little ones. I'm using several. Certain they're all down. And so I just went and spent a little bit of time watching TV and die cut out all of them that I had dies for. And then the ones that I did not have a die for, I sat while I watched TV and I fussy cutted them out. It doesn't take long, and you don't really have to think about it. You just have to sometimes pay attention to where you're putting things. So I'll put that tool going there. And then that is our second card. They're quick and easy, fun to put together. So there's that one. And then here's one with a saw. So you can use any of the pieces that you want, and you can put your cinnamon a little bit lower if you don't have big enough tools to fill it in, and the way I did this one. And you can stamp on the back of it here with the tools from the stamp set. I don't know where I laid the stamp. But anyway, there's some little bolts and things that you can stamp. And then we have these that we can put on. And find my little tool, take your pick tool. Lift that up. We'll put that right there on that wrench. And then put this over there. Grab some of the smaller ones down here. There. Oops. And right there. There we go. That's our second card. I hope you like the cards so far. I had fun making them. All right, so for our next card, whoops. We have a piece of crumb cake, and it is 11 by 4 1/4. All right, so there we go. So 11 by 4 1/4 is this piece. Then we have a piece of Poppy Parade, and it is 4 by 5 1/4. Certain, yes, 4 by 5 1/4. And then we have this piece of the DSP that looks like a cork board, and it is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then we have our inside piece, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And then this piece is 4 inches wide. And then all I did was, when I put it in the in my paper cutter, I lined it up so that I got a full piece of this, and not that I was like cutting it the next one in half. So I just basically put it in the paper cutter. And in this groove here, I just made it where it was going to fall in the middle of these two rulers. And then I cut it. So it's whatever size it is to do that. But you can also do it at like a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch. Let me measure what this one is. Okay, this one's just right at a 1/2 inch. So you could do a 1/2 inch if you wanted to, but I wanted to maximize my DSP. So that's roughly a 1/2 inch by 4 inches. Then we have this little piece of white here, and it was scraps from whenever I was cutting some of my center pieces, and it's 2 1/4 by 1 inch. I also had the dies from our stamp set. I can't, there it is. And it's the label, and the label's over where I was die cutting, but the label is this piece, like this, and it pops those holes out. And then I cut another piece, and this is our cinnamon cider. Then I cut another piece for the handle, and that's what this is. And I took my silicone mat, and I put a little dot of glue, and then I dipped the front side of the handle in that. Just dipped it in the glue, and then attached it to the back of this so that it would make the toolbox. But before I did that, I did run this through our timber embossing folder so that it would give it that wood grain look. But I've already glued it together because you want to make certain it's good and dry before you move on to the next part with this. All right, so that's just a tip with that. All right, so we are going to glue our piece of DSP down on our Poppy Parade layer. So this is that cork board. And we also have the die, so you can die cut a cork board. And then we're going to take that and we're going to glue that to the front of our card base and center it here. Like that. I'm going to take the bone folder crease. We're going to take this piece here. We're going to glue that to the bottom there. And you want to make certain that you put it correctly. Okay. We're going to put that on the inside of our card base. Like that. And we're going to work on the front here. So this is my toolbox, and I want to be able to put some tools in my toolbox. So I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. And so I'm going to, whoops. So this is where it's glued together. So this is the back. So you can see how my handle is glued about, I don't know, 1/4 inch, maybe 1/8 inch, something like that, to the back there. So I'm going to cut these in strips and cut those partial ones in half, and then cut this in half like that. So that I just have these little bitty stubby long pieces. You could do our adhesive strips that we sell. But this works just fine. And then I'm going to put a couple small pieces down here at the bottom. Come back and finish that bottom piece. This other little piece here. That down here at the bottom. And then this little piece here is thin enough that I can put it behind this handle. So you don't want any in the center here, just along the edge, and then a couple small pieces at the bottom, just enough to hold it up away from the card base. Just making certain my video is still recording. The other night I was having trouble. It kept stopping and starting. All right. So then I want to bring in my card front, make certain it's opening at the bottom here. And I want to put this down here and kind of center it. So you've got lines to go by. So we're going to do that. And then these embellishments, these small ones, I'm going to take and pick them up and set them over the dots so you won't see that dimensionals showing through, and it looks like nail heads or rivets. So I'm just using the small ones for this part. I'm doing 4 on each side of this toolbox to hide that stuff, because my glue is showing through on that top one, and then these little pieces of dimensional are showing through on the others. And so this is a cute way to hide that. And if you purchase the card class, get a set of these. If you spend $40 in my online store, you get the card kit for free, but it with your DSP already cut. And if you spend $50, I'll include some of the little embellishments. All right, so we need to bring those tool things back in. Now then, I want to hang some things on my pegboard. So I'm looking for some different things that I can hang up there. Hang my and it's like the toolbox is sitting on a bench in front of it. So how about like that? So we'll do that. So I'm gonna glue. I think I'm gonna put embellishments. So do this one. So at the top here. Now I'm not putting any at the bottom because I found that it sticks before you get it in place where you want it. So it just keeps sticking, but that's all right. I can make it work. So I'll hang that one there. Let's bring in those minis. So that's all used up. And where'd my minis go? Oh, here they are. So I'm going to put some minis on this C-clamp. Like that. Like I said, you know, I fussy cutted a lot of these out and it didn't take any time at all, hardly. And so I had this whole box just full, trying to here we go. Just trying to have options for whenever I was doing my cards. All right. So I accidentally took the backing off of that one, so I'll stick it a little closer. All right, so I'm tuck that behind. There we go, like that. And then now I need to decide what tools I'm going to put on the inside of here. Just trying to find different things. Like if it's cut like that, you can tuck that in a, you know, so that you barely see any of the red, and they won't even know that the rest of it's not there. So that's a good way to use a lot of your little pieces like this. All right, so I think I'll go with that. That works for me. So I'm going to put glue on the handles. Just up here a little bit. And then we'll lift that up just a little bit and tuck it. And then I'm going to put glue on this. Somebody was messy and put away their paintbrush with glue on it. Add a little bit of glue to this one. And just tuck that there. So you can have fun with this and just kind of put it wherever you want. So like that. All right. So there's that. Move that out of the way. Now let's bring in this little piece, and this is where our sentiment's going to go. And I'll bring that stamp back in. That you're the most awesome. And I think, let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead with the Lost Lagoon. So I'm going to ink that up. Stamp. And for whatever reason, this ink pad gets splotchy. So I hold it for a good bit, giving it a chance for the ink to adhere to the paper. All right, and then put a couple of dimensionals. These go together quickly, especially if you have the DSP. If you have to stamp them and then die cut it, it does take a little bit longer, but not a lot of time. And then add that there. And then you have your embellishments already on there. You can add something to the inside. And let's see. So I have this one right here. I'm going to fussy cut this really quick. And you want to open and close your scissors and move your paper. Especially around this here blades of this. I'll show you just how quickly it is to like fussy cut these out. Doesn't take hardly any time at all. And you don't have to get in like those grooves and stuff. Just give it some depth by, you know, showing that there's texture to it. Just by moving your paper. And this is one of those that is already, it was like one of the edge pieces. And I'll show you how to use that. And so I'm not really moving my scissors. I'm just like going, open and closing them. And I'm moving the paper so that I can control it. There we go. All right, so now then I'm going to bring it down here and I'm going to attach it there so it kind of looks like it's cutting across that. So the edge pieces, you just put them on the edge of something so that it looks like it was meant to be there. Like that. And then you can stamp whatever, or write your sentiment there. So here's the one we just did. And here's one that I did before. that's our number 3 card. And let's bring in our last card here. All right, so this is Lost Lagoon paper. And it is, let's see, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're gonna fold that on that line. Take our bone folder. This is 4 inches by 5 1/4. This is, 4 inches by 5 1/4, and it's been put through the the metal, the dye metal. On page 129, pretty certain. Number 6, the metal plate 3D embossing folder. That's what it is on page 129. And so I just used a piece of our basic gray or gray granite. I think it's basic gray. And so I'm going to add that to our card front. And I like to do the corners with the glue and then go around the outside edge. And this is textured, so you want to put quite a bit of glue on it, just not big globs of glue. Okay, so it opens this way. And we're going to center that on the front here. Like that. And then we have a piece of DSP that's 2 inches by 4. Yep, 2 by 4. I'm going to take and add that. And then we're going to put that through the center here. Like that. And you want to be certain and hold that for a moment so that it adheres well to that texture. You don't want your card coming apart after you put all the work into it. All right. And then we are going to put this piece on the inside. This is our inside piece. You can always embellish this with another piece of DSP, like a strip of it. You could do a 4 inch by 1 inch across the bottom, or you could do a 1 inch or a 1/2 inch by 5 1/4 for the side, whatever works for you. And we're going to bring this piece in, and this piece is 3 inches by 4 1/4. All right, so I'm going to bring in the Happy Father's Day, and I think I'm going to do a Papa Poppy Parade. Let's see what that looks like. Come along the bottom here, maybe 1/2 inch above the bottom. That looks pretty good. Okay. And you can always put, like, if you have something on the outside, you can always put that dad on the inside. I'm going to add dimensionals to the back. I like dimensionals. There we go. Take our backings off. Then we're going to bring our card front in. And we're going to add this right here to the front. like that. I'm going to take these larger ones and put them in the corners. I'll try to do it equally if I can. I love these little textured dots. So like that. And then we need some of our tools. Can be all sorts of things. We have that tool. We have that one. Let's see. We have a hammer. Okay. So I want to put my longest piece here in the center, kind of up high. And then I'm going to put that like that. And maybe that like that. So I'll bring in my glue, and I'm going to do the center one first. That up. Kind of place that in the center. Do this next one. Place that off here to the side. Above the words, but below that centerpiece. And we'll do this one. So with that Poppy Parade, that gives a little pop of color. We can open this up. And we can add this down here at the bottom like that. So I have a little flat edge on here, and so we're going to make it look like we meant to do that. Just put that right down there. And that is our fourth card. So you can put cards with the set together so quickly. Clean this up just a bit. If you haven't subscribed to my email, I invite you to do that so that you can find out about my classes and my specials and different things like that. And then, so here's card number 4. Number 3. 2. We had a little fun interactive one here. So we'll do it like that. So there we go. Slide that up a little bit so it can be seen. There we go. So if you have not subscribed to my newsletter and email list, I invite you to do that so that you find out about these cute classes that I'm doing, or my mystery stamping on Thursdays. And I let everyone know in my newsletter what my next classes are going to be and like how soon they're going to be, what dates and different things. And so I invite you to subscribe to that. It'll be in the description below the video. And I hope that you will give these cards a try. If you have the stamp set or the DSP, then try giving these cards a try, or try making the cards and using a different stamp set. If you don't have the stamp set and you did not purchase the bingo card class, then you can use other stamp sets. If you did happen to purchase the card class with the bingo, you will get the DSP to make all your cards. If you place a $40 order with me in my online store by next Wednesday, Wednesday the 29th, May 29th, if you place a $40 order with me, I will give you the kit for the 4 cards for free. I will cut your DSP for you. I will not cut the DSP for the ones who did the class and paid for the class. And if you spend $50 or more, I will also send you the embellishments that I used on the cards. So I want to thank you for joining me and have happy stamping. Bye-bye.